So good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Brunch with Cam and Sam. And today we are talking all about mindset mastery. It's a big topic, but I think we can kind of summarize at least our last 12 months in mindset terms of the stuff that we've probably had to jump over and deal with, I guess. So hi, everybody, everyone that's tuning in. So
yeah, I've never had to manage. I don't think I've gone as hard on mind management as I have the last year.
Agreed.
Because it's just been so important that, and just, kind of keeping mental health on an even keel and everything, just with the whole routine, with finances, business, everything kind of shot to pieces. So yeah, managing my mind, I just feel that's where it all starts, isn't it? It all starts in the mind, and that kind of dictates everything else around us. So if your mind's not in check, then it's gonna all fall apart very quickly. How's it been for you in the last sort of year in terms of your mind?
I completely agree. I think if I would have been in a worse place, like I have been maybe like 3 or 4 years ago with my mindset, if this would have happened, then a couple of, obviously, 12-month anniversary now of being off the road, I think I would have been in a lot worse state in terms of, knowing for me that nearly 2 years ago now, worked to obviously set my business up, and I actually saw COVID as like prime time opportunity for me, and it was to try and get as much in place. I mean, there was that pressure that, and I'm sure you felt it as well, that whole, when everyone in the first lockdown was all about fucking pivot. And I was like, I felt so pressured to just do everything and anything. It was awful. And I was like, you know what, I just need to sit down and regroup to really, what can I achieve with it being realistic to the fact that I've still got a job that I've still kind of got to do, even though obviously the setup's changed, and then optimizing my day the best way possible to fit in things that aren't going to overwhelm me all the time, because that's what it was. That first lockdown was overwhelm, which I felt I was in a lot better of a position to grab hold of this time rather than, a couple of years ago. It just wouldn't have happened that way. So
100%. I'm just gonna interrupt you and jump in there just on that like whole pivot conversation. I totally resonate with that. I actually had to come out of I didn't come out, I just switched off all my notifications on a lot of the business groups that I'm in Facebook, because I didn't have a business that just easily moved online. In terms of makeup, yes, you could say, okay, you can do online lessons, but we never serviced that type of thing anyway. It was very much events, entertainment. There wasn't really a lot that could be done, and kind of watching everybody else sort of like take off or sort of pivot quite easily just makes you feel like you're being left behind. It was making me really anxious. So I mean, in terms of, my management for myself on that, I just had to switch all the notifications off. I didn't want to come out of the group, and they've been really great groups for me, and I learned a lot from them. But it was just too much. It was just too much, and it wasn't making me feel good at all. And I wasn't getting any decent thinking done because it was just stressing me out, kind of watching everybody else. And social media does that anyway, in that comparison game, drawing you in, and it on one, can be inspiring to watch, but when it's too much, it goes right the other way, and you're just minimizing yourself. So anyway, sorry, carry on. Just wanted to butt in on that one.
No, I completely agree with it. It's I think I went probably the opposite way during the first lockdown, is that I probably added myself to too many groups, because I think I was then looking for, am I missing something? Is there something that I'm not doing that everyone else is doing? The FOMO, any group I could get into, I was like, right, I'll add myself into that, and I'll try and do a bit of this and a bit of that and a bit of that. And it just turned into like this big brain fart of all these systems that didn't really work or talk to each other and didn't get me any further forward. And I think it's probably taken me to maybe like the end of December-ish this year that's just gone to actually realise I'm just going to strip everything back and just be basic and not be afraid of it being basic. When I've been asked to start doing, do I offer online coaching? and start when I started my business, I didn't necessarily want to go down that route because it's, you know, so many people doing it. I was like, right, well, I've been asked, so how can I make this into something that still fits my niche, that's different to what other people are doing? And that's, you know, obviously where they've gone down the more behavior and mindset side of it anyway. But I think I was kind of resisting that as well to so much, because I was constantly seeing all these people doing all the home workouts all over Instagram. And that in itself is like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be amongst the rest of the mass of just doing the same shit.
Yeah. It's just that, FOMO, as you say, that fear of missing out. I mean, do you remember the challenges and like this challenge and that challenge? I don't know if you did any of the challenges.
Oh, too many challenges.
I signed up to like so much stuff, like my inbox, and still there's quite a few on there. I need to sort like the rest of that out, but the amount of emails that I'm getting through, and it was great to a certain extent of growth and kind of really pushing out of comfort zone, but you know, you can't keep that level up either. And it's all kind of died down now. It's just these kind of trends and these bandwagons, and everyone sort of follows each other. But you just said like a key thing. It was stripping it away. It was stripping it back. And I've done that about 3 times in the last year, where I've kind of built all this stuff, and it's got too much.
Chameleoned.
Huh?
And chameleoned.
Yeah, chameleon. Built all this stuff, and then I've had to, you know, it's just knocked me out, and I've gone, right, I have to take a step back and go, right, what do I actually want? And I did a real big kind of clear out at the end of last year. And so like you know, going into this 3rd lockdown in a much better place, because it got to the point, it was great. I don't regret anything that I've done. I launched the podcast. I was doing so much stuff. I wrote another book. I was doing lots of things last year, but I didn't want to go into 2021. It's, you know, there's little New Year's resolutions type thing. I don't normally make them, but I was like, I don't want to drag all this in. This is like a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
I don't want to drag it into a brand new year. You know, I want to be have a clean slate and just do the stuff that A, adds value, but B, that I enjoy. If those are my 2 things. If it doesn't add value and I don't enjoy it, then forget it. And even if it adds value but I don't enjoy it, I'm probably not going to do it. I'm not going to be able to sustain it. And that's the most important thing, I feel.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with that. I think that's probably one of my top tips is, like, say, stripping everything back, going back to basics, and knowing what actually does serve you. Is it serving a purpose, and to what level? And if it's not, and like I say, if you don't enjoy it, then you're not going to be able to sustain it. I mean, I'm kind of in the process of doing that now with, you know, trying to do like 5 posts a week on my own Instagram, and I'm just like, I know that I'm not going to be able to sustain it, but I know that for the minute it's you know, the greater good that I need to get it done. But now it's just a case of, right, Sundays, plan out my content, 7 days, what do I need to write, what do I want to write about, have a structure that very much stick to in terms of what, you know, the message I want to put across. And yeah, I mean, like someone said there, if it doesn't raise you, let it go. Absolutely, completely agree. Because it does just start to drag you down, and you start to just resent what you actually set out to initially start doing then, and then it completely defeats the object.
Yeah, and that kind of murkies everything else up. You know, if you've got this one, it's like the weak link, isn't it? If everything else is going well, but you've got this one thing that's really dragging you down, then everything else kind of just feels like shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just got no motivation, energy for it.
Yeah, like into relationships and into, you know, potentially, if you are still at work, into work life, into then not enjoying like your home gym, if you're obviously training at home and stuff. It just has such a knock-on domino effect with everything else.
Good morning. Someone's wishing us a good morning.
Good morning. So yeah, I think it's, I mean, for me, I mean, well, in fact, let's do your top tips first.
Top tips. Okay. Well, I mean, I've just gone off. We just went off on a tangent. Yeah, I just wrote some notes down. And the 3 things that knock me off, and cause chaos, is lack of organisation with my work efforts. So, and again, that's kind of goes back to what we were just saying. When, you know, mainly when I take on too much, I have a habit of doing that, and it kind of builds up. Huh?
You're a yes man.
Yeah, I am a little bit. I am. No, but I can say no. I can say no.
Yeah.
But you know, I want to experience. That's the problem. So
Yeah.
sometimes I have to rein myself in. And yeah, so a lack of routine as well. So if I've got a lack of routine, it makes me, and that's why routine's great, because it provides security. You know, as we said before, you know, meal prepping, sleep and wake times, the most basic need. If you've got a routine with that, you just have this, you just feel more grounded and a bit more secure. So you're able to just handle things better. So if my routine goes a bit off, then my mind goes a bit off too.
Yeah.
And yeah, when I've kind of lost, which sounds dramatic, lost a sense of purpose, which does happen. You know, when I'm not planning, when I've kind of veered off my plan, or I haven't reminded myself of I guess my kind of mission, or written out a mission statement. And that's something I encourage, so I guess as a top tip, is people to write a mission statement out for themselves of where they want to be in the future, in 10 years time, even in 5 years time. If that's too much, just 1 year, you know, and just write that out and keep it by your bed, just so you can refer to it in the morning or in the evening. Just remind yourself each day. You don't even, you know, have to sit and study it, just read it, and then, you know, it gets logged in subconsciously. So yeah, my 3 tips would be journaling, and I literally had to do that yesterday. And Sam, you know, because I spoke to you, I woke up fine yesterday morning. I was like, woohoo, raring to go, 6 a.m. I did like a mini workout, and then I had breakfast, and then I don't know what happened, but I literally just went like, this cloud just came over me. I had a shower, and I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to get back into bed, and I actually got back into bed, and then it started raining, and I was like, I'm not playing today. I'm not doing live today. And then I got my journal out, or my, you know, it's just a notepad that I write in, and I just wrote, because there was clearly something going on. There was no reason for me not to feel okay, but something was obviously there. And as always, you know, just offloading that, it just makes you feel lighter. Sometimes we carry so much stuff in our head that we can't pick out what it is. But that really helps to lighten the load and just to offload it onto paper. And sure enough, okay, I had a pre-workout, which helped. I think maybe I was lacking a little bit of caffeine, but you know, it helped. It just lightened the load, and I was free to get on with the day, and it turned out to be a really productive day. And I had some great conversations and got a lot done. The other thing is resetting myself, and sometimes I just, when it gets too much, and a bit like, you know, that wasn't just like a mini reset that I did, but sometimes I just need to take a day off. If I'm able to, even if I have lots to do, if it can wait until tomorrow or a few days time, I will literally just shut my planner down, shut the day down, and go for a walk, do what I need to do, and take that entire day off, because sometimes my mind and body just needs to reset itself in its own time, and you can't hurry that up, especially if you're, you know, that's kind of bordering burnout. And sometimes you can feel physical burnout, but if it's sort of mental burnout, then it's really hard to tackle. So you just, you've got to give yourself that time off. And I do have to take a full day off every now and again. And the other thing is seeing other people. Sometimes it's great to quieten the mind and spend time on my own, and sometimes I need to do that and not be distracted by people, but at other times I actually need to get myself around people to get out of my own head, because I'm just going kind of round in circles, or it's a bit doom and gloom. And there was a little bit of that going on yesterday, and I saw my mom, and I did her nails. I had a chat with a client, just randomly, sort of like that wasn't scheduled in, and I spoke to someone else, and I think that really kind of elevated it, just, you know, gave me perspective and took me out of this narrow mindedness of wherever it was going, but it was kind of a one track to a very unhelpful place. So those are my 3 things that really helped me in terms of managing my mind.
I think actually mine are really similar with that, in terms of, because mine's actually more, I think, related to my monthly cycle, I think, as well, that I'm noticing. So I do have the coil fitted, so I don't generally necessarily have like a normal cycle, but I always get to a point every month that I can start to now see and identify when I am at my most creative. So I have like a creative week, and I'll get like a stronger week, so gym wise. I'll then have like a week where I'm not liking the gym, and then I'll have a week where the world just seems to crash down on me. So now I'm very much aware of when that's coming into play, and again, that's the time when I will do my regroup in terms of finding that perspective back again, when I will sit down and write out, right, what do I actually have within my control this next week to start to move things forward. And yes, it's not always necessarily going to be that I'm going to get everything done, but to have a set of priorities that I know that I have for that week, and then that I can then create into smaller priorities per day that are not going to overwhelm me. I do have a habit of writing big to-do lists sometimes, albeit it will be on one page, but I'll overwhelm myself. I'm like, I've not got through everything that I wanted to do. So now it'll be a case of I'll write down certain things to do each day and plan them out over the space of the week, and then it's just not as daunting. I've kind of ticked things through. And then again, I've made it a proactive mission. I think this is why my engagement's gone down on Instagram, is that I've started proactively unfollowing people this last few weeks. People that either don't add value to me, that make me feel worse about myself when their posts are all happy daisies and stuff that doesn't align with my message. And then people that don't follow me back. So I'm like, just, I'm just going to have a clear out. And Instagram's hit me hard with that. Thanks.
I think Instagram's doing some weird stuff at the moment, to be honest. My engagement's gone down. I'm not caring. I'm not caring. It's just numbers.
Well, the mass exodus of Instagram people. And then I think thirdly is, for me, I'm the same. I have to take out now at least a Sunday a month when I do not do anything that's work related. And even, I'll mention it to some clients of like, tomorrow, don't expect a response because I need time out. I practically on my phone from as soon as I wake, as much as I hate doing that, but because you've got them clients that you sometimes need to do that as well as juggling a job. But then until like 8-9 o'clock at night, where I'm still answering people, and I do that all the way through the week. It doesn't generally stop. So for me to have that one day a week where I can just say, right, just enough's enough. Most Sundays I'll do like the morning, but every now and again, like a day in a month where I can just have time with Ryan, just us two, and that's for us our switch off time. And I just do like a little bit of a mini reset, and I'll do like a mini goal resetting set as well generally on the Sunday afternoon, of setting out my intentions then for the following month, just to kind of get myself back on track.
That's such a key point there, the planning on the Sunday. Or planning on Friday for the following week ahead. It seems like, I remember, I know what I've got to do, it's in the diary, but just organizing those thoughts, and then you're able to kind of park it once it's like written out or planned out. Then you're like, okay, I know it's there, and it just helps you organize. It just makes you feel, again, that kind of security. And it's difficult. I was going to say to Sam, where are your boundaries with clients? But the world doesn't work like that anymore. I mean, it used to be, especially in what you do, in what I do, we tend to serve people when they're not working, but we still have our office kind of job. So it is like a 24-hour thing. On top of that, when you run your own business, like it's your baby. As much as people say your business is not your baby, it kind of is. It is. It is. We care, and if we didn't care, then we wouldn't be doing this. So you don't switch off. It is kind of ongoing. So it's so important to take that, take a full day, like signal to yourself somehow, because we need that, we need that time. We need to allow our brains to switch off for a good amount of time to recharge. It's the same if we were supposed to go on like 2 hours sleep per night. We'd get so far, but after a couple of weeks, yes, we can survive like that, but we want to live. We don't want to just survive.
Yeah, exactly. We want to thrive. So I think as well, for some of my ladies as well, that journaling around not just about how they do feel as well per month, but the things that they notice around when their strength and stuff does increase and decrease. If because a lot of my ladies are on like contraception that doesn't allow them to actually have a proper cycle, which I think in itself can throw people off. But I think spending that time to actually recognize what is my monthly pattern as a female as well, just in terms of mood and regulation, and actually starting to use that to its benefit for people, to start to hone in on those times when you're going to be most creative that week, is like set more time aside to do loads more creative stuff, and then you've got loads of stuff boxed off when you're in that flow state. And then you kind of prepares you then for that week when you know you're going to kind of have that like crash and burn moment, but you don't have to worry because you've got everything sorted as well. So starting to recognize those times when you do mentally feel more up and down, and recognize what that looks like and plotting it out to make you better prepared. You know, with the moon or whatever. I'm not really into the whole moon thing, but I know that some people do go by full moons and stuff. So, Bella, say hello to everybody. Hi, everybody.
Yes.
She wants hugs. So,
just crashed on the floor. No,
oh,
no appearance.
She was a minute ago. She was like Supermaning out earlier. She loves my rug, my little fluffy rug. So, but yeah, I think they there. I think we've given some really good tips to start thinking about and implementing. And even if you just take away one of those and implement that from this weekend, of how to better manage your mind state. I know that we're all kind of getting to that point as well, where we are getting that pent up frustration of just wanting back some normality now. So using this time, this next month, for most of us, obviously for, you know, counting down on the gym scale anyway, is using that time really wisely and just starting to use and tick off some of these, like on a Sunday, what can you implement that's small but takes you, you know, that next step further to make sure that when we do go back out there, that in essence, we're not actually massively overwhelmed as well, because I think we need to bear that in mind as well, that there's going to be a lot going on with people wanting to meet up, more social pressure there as well. We'll feel the pressure because we possibly don't look a certain way anymore because we've been in lockdown. So we've got 4 weeks now to really utilise to the best of our ability to set something in place so that we're not potentially crashing and burning even more so when we do get to that point.
That's such a great point. Really, really great point there. And that, you know, that caused me a little bit of anxiety when we came out of lockdown last time. I was like, you know, I was like, yay. And then it got really stressful because I got in my kind of flow with stuff, and then all of a sudden it was opened up. So it's just, but you learn, you know, so I'm very mindful of that now. And so I'm planning for it. Just when I went into this lockdown as well, I was like, okay, like you said, you know, you're better prepared for it. But yeah, and it's just everything I think really great about the hormones as well, and cycles and things like that, because that is another thing to contend with. And you know, we have to recognize that, and again, it comes back to self-awareness and knowing that. And it's not just things outside of us that are changing, you know, things. It's things internally as well. So it's a lot of management. I mean, we're all doing a freaking fabulous job here of managing.
Easy.
Yeah. But yeah, it all needs to be taken into consideration. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, if anyone does take anything away from today, please do let us know, because we'd love to see what that success has looked like for you, in terms of if something that we've mentioned today has helped you move that step closer to a goal, something that's helped you reduce like a level of anxiety going into the following week. Please do let us know, because it's really reassuring. We've had a couple of messages now over the last few weeks of things that have been implemented that have really helped people to, you know, decrease areas of their lives that have been perhaps causing them more stress, and put little tactics in place for better management all around, really. So, yeah, that's me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love the DMs we get after this and the little chats that go on. I share it on Facebook as well, so it's like, woo, amazing. Hey, Jason. Amazing. Loads of people joining today. So yeah.
Down.
Huh?
Just as we're about to shut down,
I
noticed we seem to get like a minute and a minute longer every each session that we do.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, thank you everybody for joining us today again, and you've got another couple of weeks. If there is anything else that you want us to cover in these next few weeks, please do let us know. We have some ideas moving forward as well, what we want to potentially move this into, and we'd very much like for you to be part of that journey with us. So for today, happy Saturday. I hope you all have a wicked weekend, whatever you're doing. Another step closer to gym reunion, and have an awesome weekend, everybody.
And happy Mother's Day.
Oh yeah, crap, yeah, happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. See you later.
See ya.